Ciao, ciao, ciao. How are you, six-figure wedding and event business owners? It's been a hot minute since I have been live with you guys. I've actually been traveling for about 9 weeks. I just got back to Santa Barbara on Monday, and I'm excited to be back. We're going full throttle. It's been an amazing experience for me to be out of town. For those of you guys that are following me, I went to Italy and had some work out there, a photo shoot and so forth, and got to spend some time with my family, my parents, and I'm very blessed and grateful. But let's rock and roll. You know, I like to get right into it and want to talk to you guys about what is happening right now in our industry, right? Because we keep hearing about this recession. We keep hearing these words of like, what's going to happen to um, the world, the economy, all of those kinds of things. And we're still suffering. We're still having PTSD from what happened with COVID. So this is the time to really recession proof your business because you don't want to be missing out. This is actually a great opportunity, like a lot of my clients did during COVID, to elevate the clients that you attract, to get those systems and processes in and really build the business that you got into doing in the first place. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about the um the three shifts, right? I'm going to talk to you guys about three shifts that the wedding and event business owner clients that work with me use to uncover these additional 5 figures per month consistently without having to give up every weekend and without having to work 60+ hour weeks. So, if you guys are following me for the first time, ciao, ciao, ciao. I'm excited to be here today. I'm Zoe Felici, and I am going to be sharing with you how creative wedding and event business owners transform their lives, how we uncover these additional 5 figures per month consistently without having to give up every single weekend. Now, the problem is that this is what most people do. So let's talk about that first, is that they don't really have a brand strategy. They're not clear on who is their ideal audience. And so, because of this roller coaster style business, because there's no foundation, it's a roller coaster style business. And what happens is oftentimes they're throwing money into the wrong kind of advertising and marketing, the ones that really don't convert. Probably spending a lot of time on social media, inconsistently posting with little engagement, and don't really have a voice or a brand message. And this, what happens is when you're casting the net far and wide, it's kind of like being in a dark room. Until you turn the light on, you don't know what you're facing. So what happens is when you operate this way is that it leads to being ghosted, right? It leads to maybe getting inquiries, but inquiries that don't convert, or if they do, they're negotiating with you. You're having to underprice yourself, and then this creates doubt in what is the self-worth. And then what happens with these business owners is that they feel compelled to say yes to every client because now they're operating from a place of scarcity. They don't think there's enough business. They're not getting those yeses. They're not attracting those clients at a higher value package. And they're having to say yes to every client just to make ends meet. And now giving up all these weekends and sacrificing time with family, sacrificing their creativity. And the worst part is that they stay stuck, in this cycle of spiraling downwards versus building a business because we're now in reactive mode. So if this is you, today's masterclass is going to be extremely powerful for you. Now, what happens with what I just talked about, this roller coaster business style, is that running the business this way, it guarantees burnout and it suffocates creativity. So you can never really get out of this. And today I'm going to talk about how to fix this. When people do what I'm about to share with them, what happens is they're able to build a business that is able to leave a true legacy while being present for the life and the people they love the most. Uh, they're able to unleash their creativity, spend more time in their business doing things they love. So, like, I have florist and designer friends and clients who were just constantly having to put proposals together and answer inquiries and revise proposals. And they rarely got to do what they love, which is making flowers. Same thing with photographers, caterers, event designers. Okay. But once you apply this into your business, you're actually being more productive because your business is on autopilot in some areas and you're working on the things you love. So you're just happier and you're able to do more because you don't feel stuck. Okay. So what happens is in the end, there's more income, there's more impact, and there's more freedom. So if you are the business owner who is really good at what you do, right? You're able to plan, design those events successfully, but you're not generating as much cash flow as you'd like. And you're not able to take your foot off the gas because you constantly have to be on, you have to be working in order to run the business or get new clients, this is for you. Okay. So let me ask you, do you oftentimes find yourself thinking, I should have charged more when you're working with a client? But you fall into this fear of not finding clients. And therefore, you don't raise your prices. You stay in this, I've got to lower my pricing so that I can get clients mindset. Maybe you think that you just need to plan more events, have more clients, that way you can hit your income goals, but booking more business actually means sacrificing time with your family. And it might not even give you the profit you actually deserve because you might be paying into your business, right? And then what happens is maybe you're known as the budget or the cheap option. But instead, you want your clients to see you as the best in your business because you know that you're really good at it. And you want to attract those clients who are willing to pay for those services. Or maybe you're getting those inquiries, the ones who ghost you. If you're getting ghosted constantly, we're going to talk about this so specifically here today. Um, what happens is then again, you succumb to negotiations, right? You undervalue your pricing and your value, and you're living in a place of lack of confidence. So you stay in this cycle. And that's also what's causing you to be ghosted by inquiry. So we'll take a deep dive there. And then maybe again, because you're taking all these inquiries, taking all this business just to try to make ends meet, you're busy, and you're, sacrificing time alone, friends and family, holidays, things like that. And you wish you had some processes or some help, but you can't afford it that would allow you to sit back and let your business do the work for you so that you can focus on the creativity and the talents, the reason you got into the business in the first place, as well as growing the company. Okay. So let's talk about the three shifts and the three secrets, if you want to call it, or the three steps. So let's talk about the three secrets. Now, the way, if you guys are the first time following me, I'm Zoe Felici. I was born 100% Italian. And people ask me all the time, how did you get into event planning? Jokingly, I say in the womb because I was born Italian and we're always planning events for the next meal and so forth. And I can tell you guys that's 100% true because that's what I experienced the last 10 weeks with my parents. So I started planning events in the womb. We can't help it. I was just literally born into this. And then what I do now is I pivoted my business. I got out of doing a lot of weddings because it wasn't bringing me the heartfelt desire that I was wanting to gain. So I really enjoy doing nonprofit and fundraising events. And that was a really scary time for me because I thought, shoot, I'm never going to work in this town if I don't do weddings. I really thought I had to do them. And so I pivoted my business and I was actually able to do it successfully. And now I attract the clients that I love, a lot more logistics. I do fundraisers, corporate events, mitzvahs, which I love doing, large international festivals, large events with logistics, 20,000 plus people attending them internationally. And then the other thing is that I own a regional blog. Now, I wanted to not do weddings, but I do love the wedding industry. And lo and behold, back in 2015, a friend of mine who owned a blog, SantaBarbaraWedding.com, that attracts couples to come to Santa Barbara to get married and connects them with vendors and wedding professionals and venues in the area. She was ready to dump that website and she asked me if I would be interested in buying it from her. And I thought, this is genius. That was right around the time that I didn't know what to do. And I thought I would never work in this town if I didn't do weddings. But I love the industry. I love promoting. I love marketing. I love this town. All these vendors around me are my friends, and I want to bring them more business. So I started getting into the marketing game, and I know exactly what couples are looking for. I know exactly how to work the SEO and the marketing cycle so that I can sell everyone's services in this town. And last but not least, I come from luxury resorts. When I graduated from high school, I got a hotel restaurant management degree and I started working for luxury resorts. And a lot of what I applied in my three businesses, because I have three, my event production, my blog, and obviously coaching with you guys, I received this information, I received this coaching and this training and this education, if you will, hands on by working in luxury hotels, by really applying some of those concepts into my business. And that's how I was able to really bust through the underpricing myself, not knowing my worth, the not knowing what my brand messaging is, and also the automation with personalization so that my business can run consistently and effectively. So I thank the luxury resort as the foundation for creating all of this for me. All right. So when I started sharing this, and this is how I got into coaching, is I started sharing these concepts and these ideas with other wedding and event professionals here locally. And the ones who I adopted those observations and adopted that mindset and the implemented those to-dos, they also started booking additional 5 figures per month consistently in their business themselves. So I didn't want to keep it to myself. I love sharing this information and helping this industry because it is so beloved to me. I know how hard we work. I know how much it means to us what we do. And I also know the perception that clients and couples and uh, potential clients have that, oh, they're a party planner. Oh, they do parties. Oh, it should be so cheap. And it's like, no, there's so much blood, sweat, and tear that goes into it. And I've seen firsthand my friends, my frienders, my wedding and event professionals who've had this roller coaster ride. Some have succeeded, some didn't. Some got out of the business altogether because it was too much for them. But I want everyone to win in this business because we should be able to have fun, be creatives, be really good at what we do, and also charge our worth. Okay. So that takes us to secret number one. Okay. Which is appraising your value and charging your worth. Now, if you are like many creative wedding and event entrepreneurs, I know that this task is a lot easier said than done. What I don't mean is, oh my gosh, all of a sudden you're going to jump from $1,200 to $5,000 tomorrow. That is not what you do because that's just increasing your pricing. You want to appraise the value and appraise the worth. Okay. So what happens is most business owners believe they need to book more clients in order to make more money. And a knee jerk reaction to book clients is to either lower your pricing or succumb to those negotiations. But what happens is both of those don't really get you compensated for what you're putting in. It might keep you so busy in this hamster wheel of hustle, just trying to keep up because you're trying to book all these events, trying to get back to every inquiry, getting ghosted. And also, it just means a lot of work, right? You get a full calendar, you start missing out on your own life because you're working nonstop every weekend just to barely make ends meet, barely making a profit. So if this is you, what you're going to learn in this first secret is going to be extremely powerful. So I want to ask you a question. Would you rather give up 10 weekends for 10 clients at $10,000 each? Or would you rather be working 40 weekends for 40 clients at $2,500 each, giving up 4 times more weekends while you work 4 times as hard and make the same $100,000 a month? So would you rather only give up 10 weekends or 40 weekends to make the same amount of money, right? So let's talk about how to do that, how to fix this cycle of bad pricing, because it's a difficult one to get out of, especially if you've been underpricing or slashing your prices for a long time. Because when you're underpricing or discounting, it comes from a few factors. It comes from not knowing who your target audience is and or suffering the pinch or the feast and famine, which is so typical of our industry, right? We have ups and downs. We have a seasonal business. So you're just trying to make up for that. And so you're always feeling like there's just not enough, right? You might actually think that there's not enough business, and that's why you're living in scarcity. And you could also be the one afraid that there's too much competition, it's too saturated. But the bottom line really is that you think lowering your pricing is going to get you customers. That's the only way to get clients, that people are going to say no if you're increasing your pricing. So, what does this look like day to day? Well, you create packages and services that and undervalue what is the outcome for your clients. You're not really talking about what is it that you're providing for them. You become powerless when it comes to negotiations and talking about value and price point, and you're not able to articulate why you are worth your weight in gold. Your packages may be based on competition because you think that's the fair market value, but the reality is there's only one of you. We cannot replicate what you do. Um, you might actually be afraid when you're putting proposals together that you have to talk about pricing, that you put the quote together and you have to whisper it, afraid that clients are going to say no right away. And you might actually be slashing those prices or lowering that price point, thinking that's the only way I'm going to get this business. And then what happens is you're working those events, you're doing your due diligence, you're awesome at what you do, and you're frustrated because you know you should have charged more because maybe those clients are more work, especially the ones who are price hunters. Their expectations are higher, their scope of work is a lot more than what you had originally anticipated. And now you're stuck in this hamster wheel. You're having to book more clients, you're giving up more weekends, you're giving up free time while you work harder to make money. So, one of the things that I hear the most is this is how it's costing you more because not only are you stuck, it's hard to break the cycle. Once you're in it, you're known as the cheap option. But this fear of talking about money, this fear of not knowing your worth, of not being able to confidently send your proposals is the lack of confidence. And what happens is when you don't own your worth, how can you expect others to want to buy your worth? You can't expect them to pay for it. And once you're known as the cheap option, it makes it harder to book those clients. It leads to those ghosting. That's why you're getting ghosted. That's why your conversion rate or your booking rate out of 10 bookings or inquiries, you're only booking one or two, a low conversion rate, is because others aren't seeing the value in you. You lack that confidence. You don't know your worth and you can't talk about it. And so you're not getting paid for your worth, your self-confidence and your reputation goes down. And now you're stuck in this whirlpool of attracting the inquiries who want to negotiate, who know you as the cheap option and don't really, that's the only reason why they're hiring you. And once you're known as the cheap option and that's your reputation, it's hard to come out of that. And you stay in this hamster wheel of hustle, busy, but not profitable. So, thankfully, you guys, there's two key solutions when it comes to charging your worth. So, let's dive right into them. The first thing you want to do is you want to get crystal clear on what are your financial goals. As business owners, you need to know your numbers inside and out. What are your goals? What are your expenses? What is your profit? And really getting crystal clear. I know that it's hard to look closely at that money, especially when we're creatives. I've been there too. I get it. But when was the last time you were crystal clear on these financial goals? If you're chatting with a friend right now, could you confidently answer these questions like, blank is my revenue year to date? What is the financial goal for the rest of the year? What is your financial goal for next year? How many clients does that mean for you? I'm a avid fanatic of Shark Tank, and these are the questions that they ask. Business is business, profit is profit. That's what we need to look at. The second thing is knowing what's your worth, right? You have to get extremely clear on what is your value and your offer and create packages and services around that. Be able to articulate that. And instead of looking out there at what other people are charging, you need to look inward, right? You need to have clarity about appraising your worth in order to create that value in your services. Because when you appraise your worth, you take inventory of the value and you stop being that order taker, because now you're taking ownership of the business and you're not settling for anything less. So the good news is that once you're crystal clear on those two things, you can appraise the value, charge your worth based on the outcome you provide, and you can create these added values and better services for your clients. And what happens is now you're delivering both a healthy profit margin and a robust revenue growth. You fully engage in the value of your business, and you kick the habit of those dreaded discounts, and you start attracting different types of clients. Because I tell you what, guys, bad pricing is going to destroy a business value, their revenues, and their profits. Most business owners that I talk to, they're afraid to charge more or elevate their value, thinking they're going to lose business by increasing that price point. But the reality is that by being that cheap option, not articulating the value, that is what's actually causing them to miss out or lose those bookings. I've talked to so many people in the past who have said that, I knew this was going to happen. UPS, sorry, you guys. Give me a second. UPS, hey. Sorry, everyone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank God I'm live and I haven't pre-recorded this. 1 second. Come here. Orbo the Magnifico. Okay. So let me regroup here real quick. So basically, I've talked to so many wedding and event business professionals who are undercharging, right? They're broke. They're not making money. They're not able to pay their taxes. They're giving up not only those weekends, but then they're not able to take trips or buy a handbag or anything like that. They find themselves thinking, I should have charged more. But they're afraid that they're not going to find those clients if they raise their pricing, and they're afraid to raise their pricing because they won't book the client. So again, it's the cycle of being known as the budget cheap option. So you really want to break free from that, because those referrals, the ones who are bringing you business, it's because you're known as the cheap option. And what's worse is the inquiries you're attracting, the ones who are price shopping, you're now known as a commodity. And that's the kiss of death for creating more time, more money, more freedom in your business. And let me ask you this, and we'll close with this on the price point, is you'll never know if your pricing is too high until you test it. So many people I've talked to are afraid to increase their pricing, thinking they won't be able to book clients, but they have yet to be told no enough times anyway to know that that is really the reason, right? It's not that they're being told no because they're charging too much. They're being told no because they cannot articulate the value of their worth. They do not believe that they're worth that much. Those clients will never buy it. And you have to change that thinking. You have to change that belief in yourself. You have to instantly edge yourself into that new mindset. Okay. The second secret that I want to talk about is brand strategy. And this is about messaging. Okay. So one is knowing your worth. Like, yeah, this is what I do. This is the problem that I solve for my clients. The second secret is brand strategy. Now, again, most people think they need more clients. They think they need more advertising. They think they need more marketing. But what happens is if they are not clear on their brand and their strategy, they might be looking at what other people are doing, just like their price point. They never really take the time to set the foundation, get clarity on what their superpower is and how that matches the niche of what those clients want. That way we build our business around it, right? So just like, I don't know, I mean, it's the difference between McDonald's that serves burgers and fries and a fried chicken, KFC. They have a different niche. There's a different hunger for them. I know what I'm going to get when I go to one versus the other. And that's what you need to be doing with your brand strategy. What is your superpower, right? What do those clients need in order for you to build your business around it? So it's not about more advertising, because what's happening now is maybe you're advertising, but you're not clear on your brand messaging, right? And when I'm talking about branding, I'm not talking about pretty business cards. I'm not talking about a beautiful logo. Yeah, that is a brand, but we're talking about messaging. What do you do? What problem do you solve? And who do you stand for? Right? You have to have those goals, because if you don't, you're spending money on advertising that's not attracting the right clients. You're not talking to the right people. You're posting blindly on social media platforms ineffectively, wasting more money than you should be, because you're advertising on the wrong platforms, or you don't know who that ideal audience is, and you don't know how to bring in quality clients consistently, right? And what happens when you do this, you put yourself in a pool of competitors, and you're not setting yourself apart. And that's why you're not converting those inquiries into clients, because you're not setting yourself apart from the competition. Um, so you might be on Gig Masters, you might be on the Knot, Wedding Wire, Bark, any of those, and they cost money, but there's a low return on investment, because when you're on those websites, you're literally attracting price shoppers. This is the cycle that I'm talking about. And what happens is you're busy trying to get every inquiry. 75% are unqualified. You have a low conversion rate. You become discouraged because there's very little visibility or digital growth. And this suffocates your creativity, and it suffocates your confidence. When you cast your net far and wide, it makes your business a teeny tiny little fish in a huge ocean of competitors, because you're not setting yourselves apart, right? That's why you're getting overlooked. That's why you're getting ghosted by inquiries. And you might be doing social media and you're not really mastering your messaging. So you're in the trenches of blogging with little or no engagement, wasting time, having little impact. Maybe you're revamping your website, right? I've heard this so many times. People, it's like, it's just my website. I got to revamp my website. If your messaging isn't there, it's not going to make a difference. It's not your website. I can guarantee you guys that once you are crystal clear on what is your superpower and who are those perfect clients, why should they work with you, and you can articulate that, it works. You want to build a strong brand message. Be crystal clear on that superpower. Be crystal clear on that audience and what they're looking for. That way you can connect with those customers emotionally. That way you can master your messaging or your superpower and what sets you apart. What is your magic sauce? Because even if a competitor tries to mimic it, they're never going to be as good at it as what you offer. That's your superpower. And I know that this works because I had a client, Emily, who she felt like we worked about a year ago together, and she felt like she was uh, too old. She couldn't compete with the young kids. She was like, they're all on Instagram. I'm not an Instagrammer. She had all these issues. She wanted to redo her website, but we had to start from square one, which is, who are the clients that we're talking to? And you guys, as soon as she was clear on that, as soon as she was clear on how to master her messaging and her branding around that, her brand message, we hadn't even touched her website when she started attracting those perfect clients out of the blue. I'm telling you, it works. It's not about your logo. It's not about your website. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just about knowing your superpower and who are those clients and being able to talk to them. Okay. So, yeah. So, within just a couple weeks of working together, Emily was attracting those perfect clients with an old website that had old messaging on there that didn't have a new logo. It had nothing to do with the way she presented herself online. So, instead of spinning your wheels, spending money doing any of that, before you do any of that, get crystal clear on your brand messaging. Now, once you're attracting those perfect clients, once you are charging your worth and up leveling what is your services and your appraisal, now you want to run a well oiled machine, because I can tell you that these client expectations are higher than the budget people sometimes, right? And so, what needs to happen is that you want to make sure that you are consistent. You're consistent at mastering your messaging and identifying your superpower, and that you're confident in charging your worth. That's what's going to elevate the quality of clients you attract, right? So, in secret number 3, this is extremely powerful, because once you have clarity on your messaging, once you implement the systems of what it takes to get that, you can automate this with personalization based on your talents, based on your business, allowing you more time to either work on your craft, work on your creativity, build your business, or take some time off without having to stop everything, because if you take your foot off the gas, nothing's happening in your business, right? If you're running your business manually, if you're trying to wing it with each client, it's not only time consuming, it costs you money and it creates these gaps of inconsistency. And what happens there is clients feel it, they know it, they see it. And I can share this with you that this is one of the main things that I learned in luxury resorts. So, for example, one of the automate, and this was back in the 90s, early 2000s, before we had computer and all these apps and all this ability to automate our services. And there is a preferred what was it? A preferred client program, right? So when people would stay at the hotel, they would get an amenity on their first stay, they would get an amenity on their fifth stay, 10th stay, 25th. And it was always a different amenity every time based on what number stay it was, it up leveled. And I believe 100 stays was the robe. Okay. First stay or fifth stay was a bowl of fruit, that kind of stuff. But there was an automated personalized system. Now, the hotel we worked at, we had a lot of those regulars coming in, and they all received a personalized note from the general manager. Do you really think that the general manager had time to write every single note to these people? No. Did that mean that it wasn't done? No. What we did is you have the front desk, the reservation system, which would mark when these people were coming in. We all knew about it because we had morning meetings and we would say, oh, Johnny Smith is checking in today. He's allergic to this and that. It's his 10th stay, so he's going to get this amenity. And this is that elevated service that I'm talking about. And this was also personalized. So instead of writing a note to every guest, we had handwritten notes that were printed, but they looked like they were handwritten, okay, from the general manager to the person receiving them, right? So this is helping them feel special. This was an automated process that worked like clockwork, and it worked consistently, made them feel special, increased the value of the worth, increased the experience, and had them being loyal customers, because you cannot take your foot off the brake when it comes to these things. This even is true for making a reservation, for your inquiries. So, what happens when you implement automation with personalization, or one of the beauties that happens, is people then, you don't have to sell your services. You can actually pre-sell them and have systems and processes and automated, personalized triggers to sell your services before you even get on the phone with an inquiry. That way, your conversion rate goes higher because they know more about you. You've mastered your messaging, you set it out in an automated process, and they know whether or not you're the right person for them. Guaranteed, when you master your messaging, they know that they are the right person for you. So what happens is you're increasing your conversion rate, you're reducing the amount of time it takes to book clients, and you're attracting those perfect clients, and you're elevating your services, and you're creating more value. You can take on more, you can take your foot off the gas, and things still run smoothly. So this is a no brainer. You can't be servicing clients from forms. You can't be having to add things at the last minute and be reactive and be late to meetings and only answer some inquiries or forget what a client was doing for you. You want to not really spend a lot of time on these administrative details, and you want to not be in reactive mode. Also, social media, promoting your services. If you're not consistent, if you're reactive, if you don't have time, that's probably being put on the back burner. So there's no marketing happening for your company, right? So it's like, if you turn this way, and I know this has been huge since the pandemic and the boom, it's like, if I turn this way because I'm so busy, and I hear this all the time, I'm drinking from a fire hose, I don't even have time to respond to inquiries. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. That's exactly why automation with personalization exists. It's to create that consistency, minimize those errors, create a repeat client referral program, and having these automated processes so that you can do it consistently. Your clients feel the love, they enjoy working with you, they leave you rave reviews just from the inquiry process to the anniversary. It can be such a bonus for you, and it can bring you a referral business uh repeat referrals into your business as well, without stagnation, without lack of growth, without a decrease in productivity. And again, my client Nikki, this is exactly what we did for her. She started attracting those perfect clients. She was talking specifically to them. They're a DJ company. Her conversion rate has gone up higher. She's booking those clients, she's booking them in a shorter amount of time, and they're getting the love that they deserve. She just had her second baby, you guys, and she has a full-time job, and she's still able to nurture and have consistency in her business. So there is no excuse to not do this. You just need a proven plan. You need the guidance, you need support. And if you want to be much, much better and you can't do it alone, this is exactly why we should get on a phone call. I'm going to set aside 45 minutes for you guys to really take a deep dive into your business, figure out what's working, what's not working, what's the gap that needs to get you there so that you can attract your perfect clients, you can have a system that works, and you can have an income of uncovering additional 5 figures per month in your business over and over and over without skipping a beat. So if you are ready to take a deep dive to fix this once and for all, you have a choice. You can stay stuck in the trenches, or trying to figure it out for yourself, leaving money on the table, or take advantage of what's happening now, recession proof your business, and let's get to the bottom of this. I have seen it all. I know the biggest challenges, and I can help you to navigate it. So here's what's going to happen on the call. I have 3 things. We're going to assess where you are. We're going to define where you want to be and determine what you need to do to get there, right? But I ask that you have a couple things. I want to make sure you have integrity. I want to make sure you're an action taker, that you just are sick and tired and you're ready to take action. You're really good at what you do. You're decisive. You just don't want to go one more minute trying to figure it out. And you have this desire for transformation, because it's an unusual industry that we're in. It's unusual times that we're in, and this needs to happen now. So if you guys are ready, go to zoefelici.com/apply, and it'll take you right to my calendar. And right there, I'm going to post it here on the thing. Right there, you can set up an appointment with me. Sorry, hold on. Zoe Felici. I wasn't ready tech-wise. Zoe Felici, apply. It'll take you right to my calendar, set up 45-minute call so that we can get under the hood of the car and really make this a huge success once and for all, to get your business up to speed and bring you more money and having to work less and all the great things that come along with a thriving 6-figure business and a great reputation. Go to zoefelici.com/apply. I'll see you there. It'll take you right to my calendar, and then it'll take you to a quick short form so I know exactly what it is that you're looking for, and I can have a little bit more information before we get on the phone together. That's it for today. Thank you. Thank you for Felici Friday. I can't wait to see you guys. You'll see me a lot more often. Hey, it's the last half of the year, you guys. So let's go get them. Okay? Ciao for now.